Internet, hello and welcome to this week's Koi Cubed. I hope you are doing well. We have a whole bunch of stuff to talk about from Marvel, from DC, from movies to television to comic books themselves. A lot of stuff is going on and I'm very excited to join you today to talk about all of it. We're going to talk about the Shang-Chi trailer, which is the first new movie footage we've had from Marvel in a year. Yes, we have had new Black Widow footage, but that movie was about to come out by the time the world stopped. This is the first new Marvel property in a year, which feels very good to see new footage from new Marvel goodness. We've got some Gordon news about the DC show that's going to be based around the Batman universe, which I'm, as you all know, the most excited about. We've also got some Mad Max news, some Flash news, all sorts of good stuff. And then at the end, we'll talk some curls, we'll talk some schmodown, we'll talk some comic pull lists. It's going to be a good time. I am extremely tired, but doing very well. I've been trying to get all of my ducks in a row to take a day off tomorrow because I've worked about 2 weeks straight over my weekends and I want to take tomorrow off, so I'm doing a little bit of double action today. So apologies if I'm a little low energy, but it's a positive emotion I'm feeling. Just I'm low on the battery scale. So if you're first time tuning in, welcome to Koi Cubed. The illustrious Koi Pond, the people that are in the chat on this show are some of the best people on the planet. Truly incredible people. I've only had to have boot 2 people in the history of the show in a year and a half. So that's really impressive. So, dear Koi Pond, I thank you. I think that is enough time vamping. Let's get into the news. Actually, before we get into the news, I want to start off by thanking Annabelle Roman. Annabelle Roman, 1, that is a cool name. 2, jumping in with a super chat before we start the show is a gangster move. I appreciate the fuck out of it. Said, always listening, reading, and watching, bro. Your insight is much appreciated. Thank you. I really love sharing my perspective on things. I really love philosophizing, and I really love talking about fiction and nonfiction from a different perspective and hearing other people's perspectives, so I really enjoy sharing mine with you as much as I get to, so I appreciate it very, very much, and thank you for the super chat there. Alright, let's kick off talking about Shang-Chi, because frankly, I could not have been more excited for this trailer. It, as I said, is the first new movie footage we've had in a year. I am so in for Shang-Chi. First of all, because Simu Liu is a fantastic human being. I met him at Comic-Con before the world stopped, and he had just found out about 2.5 days earlier that he himself was Shang-Chi, and then within about 55 hours was on the Hall H stage with some of the biggest actors in the world and charmed the pants off of everybody. The dude is so charismatic, so interesting, so ready to go, and he's such a kind and sweet human being. I was very lucky to get to hang out with him at the Russo's after party thing at Comic-Con, and it was awesome to talk to the man before he'd even started filming Shang-Chi. He was freshly Shang-Chi'd when I met him, and he's just a fantastic human being. So without having seen a lick of footage, I was excited because I'm really excited for Simu to be everywhere. Then I followed him on Twitter, and homie is hilarious. And then I watched some of Kim's Convenience, which I need to keep watching. It actually ends, I think, this week. The show is genius. All around big Simu fan. He's going to be gigantic, and he is somehow the first Asian MCU superhero. So I am very excited for this movie to expand all sorts of horizons and to give us lots and lots of new worlds and worldviews. The trailer itself goes from ancient times to modern times. The trailer itself is huge in scope. Some of my favorite cinematography I've seen from Marvel yet. It does not look like a Marvel film, or at least a Marvel Phase 1 film, which had a very similar aesthetic throughout. This looks expensive. This looks bold and grandiose. I love the classic martial arts filmography. Filmography is the wrong use of that expression. Cinematography, I just don't want to repeat again, but cinematography from classic martial arts films, the sweeping shots, the broad wide angles, all of this stuff, which we haven't really seen to this level in a Marvel film of this scale anyway. We've seen some really cool action set pieces. You know what? I do see in the chat someone said, don't forget Wong. I consider Wong a sidekick, but I shouldn't. That is absolutely correct. We have had Wong as a hero. You're right. They made him much more of a hero than he was necessarily in some of the 70s comics. In the movie, Benedict Wong as Wong was quite the hero, completely accurate, and a fine purveyor of sandwiches. Benedict Wong and Wong both know a good sandwich. Thank you very much, Hold My Brick. I misspoke and I would quickly correct it. So Shang-Chi, the film, is quite the experience, and I really, 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 really appreciate the fact that this looks like it's going to modernize a lot of concepts I enjoy about the comics that will make it much more, approachable. In the comic books, his dad is Fu Manchu, like the Fu Manchu, like mustache of icon Fu Manchu, and that's a tricky thing that became a stereotype and is really messy. They changed that to Wenwu. They also changed him into the Mandarin. In the comic books, his dad runs a criminal empire, and he doesn't want to be any part of it. They've elevated that to being he runs the Ten Rings organization, and that ties beautifully into Marvel. And it gives us a lot of built-in tension about knowing at least that organization through the abstract, through the Iron Man franchise, and through Trevor Slattery, which I'm sure they're going to address, Killian, which I'm sure they're going to address. But he's also got a sister who is in this criminal underbelly that wants to be Daddy's favorite, and there's a lot of conflict there. That's going to be a blast. I think Fin Fang Foom is coming. I think we're going to get some of the best Marvel action since Winter Soldier. I think we're getting a lot of really, really glorious stuff in no time. I took some notes. I want to make sure I covered those things. The 10 rings on the wrists I'm very excited about. The 5 gauntlets in each wrist making up 10 rings look like they have offensive powers. I assume he's also immortal because he looked to be from ancient times as well as in modern times and did not age. So I assume immortality as well as the offensive gauntlets of the 10 rings are a factor. He trained for 10 years. The Shang-Chi character trained for 10 years and then basically had 10 years to go live his life, and now he's being recalled back to this world of crime. I'm really excited to see the training. I'm excited to see him laying low, working, very remedial jobs. It also takes place during and after the blip, so there's going to be continued blip conversations, just like the rest of the Phase 4 footage we've experienced. I love Razor Fist, the guy that played Dolph Lundgren's son in Rocky IV's sequel, Creed 2, is Razor Fist, looks just like him. I'm very in for that. Again, I think we're getting Fin Fang Foom. We've also got Death Dealer in this trailer. We've also got some elemental powers, it looks like. There's a lot of water bending. This could be bananas. We don't really have an established power set because we're reinventing the Mandarin. We're reinventing a lot of Shang-Chi. We're reinventing a lot of things to modernize it, put it in the MCU, and that's what I love when they do. Civil War is not the comics. Captain America is not the comics. Thor is not the comics. I like that they've modernized these characters and put them in a cinematic bent, and I think that's really going to suit Shang-Chi quite a bit. And Shang-Chi's not the most approachable character. He's also not, the most mainstream character, and I think this is going to be a good way to mainstream and make him more approachable at the same time. So Simu Liu is a fantastic human being, a fantastic actor, and I cannot wait for that man to be everywhere, and he looks badass in that costume, which is gorgeous. Also, Awkwafina, lots of goodness. Tony Leung, not good at pronunciation, but Tony Leung is also a goddamn titan, so lots of good stuff with Shang-Chi, and giant guardian lions, which I am all about, giant guardian lions, which I think are going to play kind of the rhinos role in Wakanda. Those warrior rhinos, I think we're going to have giant warrior lions in ancient and maybe even modern times, leading to Fin Fang Foom, I hope. But yeah, so check out the Shang-Chi trailer if you've somehow missed it to that point. Those are my thoughts on it. If you guys want to check out my more abbreviated quick thoughts, I'm always going to be doing trailer reviews on TikTok now. So I'm going to be jumping on TikTok and also trying to upload them here as well to get all of that information to you lovelies. I see there are a couple of super chats that came in during my Shang-Chi diatribe. Let me jump into that and see. We got the Ryan Cross Project. Since you blocked my number on the Coy-Cast, I will never tell anyone to listen to the Coy-Cast on every podcast app. And if they're listening on Apple Podcasts to leave a review, I will never tell anyone that. But for real, I didn't block Ryan. I didn't. Ryan Cross Project. Travis leaves fantastic messages, but I do remember there was some shit talking that I left with Travis after this last call. But for real, quick question. Do you think Zack Snyder bringing Superman back via Mother Box was a missed opportunity to bring Cyborg Superman to the big screen for the first time? Stay sweaty and keep doing what you do. Don't forget to love each other. Peace. 1, I agree. Don't forget to love each other. It's very important. We are living through troubling times. Remember to hug who you can safely and tell people you love them and care about them. All of the agreement there, Travis. As far as Cyborg Superman, I think that's not a character we've only had Superman in 1.5 movies. Like, we had him in Man of Steel, and then we had him in half of Batman vs. Superman. He got killed. And then he's gone for most of Justice League. So I don't think we're ready for Cyborg Superman yet. I don't think we're ready to explain Hank Henshaw or that whole storyline personally. It was already a 4-hour movie with Kal-El, you know? So I just don't know if we have time for more origins and tying in more stories. It's always cool when you can tie it into the comic books. It's always cool when you can make it accurate to the comic books. But in this case, I think it would have been a really overwhelming bit of origin and too many characters. And once again, as is, it was a 4-hour fucking movie. I enjoyed the 4-hour fucking movie. Could not have handled a 5-hour fucking movie. And I think it would have needed to been to have more characters like that involved. I like the concept. I think it would have delivered really well in a comic book or in a TV show or something serialized and longer. But I think we are already at max capacity of slow-mo. So that's just my 2 cents. I love the idea, though. And thank you, Travis. Joel Rolston. Shang-Chi's origin stories had him fighting beasts and animals. I remember he fought an alligator in the swamp and won. Do you think Marvel will do something that crazy? Yes. I think there will be many animal fights. I think there will be fights with perhaps dragons named Fin Fang Foom that are actually aliens. I think that the alien of Fin Fang Foom will have been there since ancient times and maybe be awakened. I think we'll maybe be fighting some guardian lions. I think it's tricky because you don't want it to be like, ugh, primal martial arts, must fight animals. That's a slippery slope. But I do think there's going to be some opportunities for him to show his might, a la, Mortal Kombat or whatnot. Like, what's that fucking thing? Like, I think it was Show Your Might. Yeah, Show Your Might. I think there's going to be some Show Your Might with animals, if all goes well. By the way, Mortal Kombat is available. The first 7 minutes are available right now. I'm not watching it because I'm going to wait and see that shit in theaters. I'm actually going to go to the theater this weekend, and I'm losing my mind excited. On Saturday, I'll be re-entering a movie theater. I'm vaccinated deuce, and I'm 3 weeks out from the second one, so I'm inoculated as fuck, so I'm going to wear a mask. I'm going to stay the fuck away from everybody, and I'm going to watch me some Mortal Kombat in theaters. So I'm not watching the first 7 minutes because I'm going to support a theater as best I can. Might even buy some snacks. Might even do a cheat day out of it. But I will be very much involved in the theater process going forward. I'm going to be at the theater as much as I can. You guys are crushing it in the Super Chat stream. I'm going to get to Alfred Molina in just a minute. But first, Lewis Cox says, I hope there is a reference to an Iron Fist who is Asian American. That actually ties in nicely to my Cyborg thing. I think Iron Fist will be, a character, an element, a fixture, there's the word I was looking for, fixture of Marvel going forward, but I don't think you should introduce him in Shang-Chi 1 because it'll kind of water down the separateness of the Shang-Chi universe. I think Shang-Chi could easily be, another world like Black Panther where it integrates into ours, but also it gets to be its own thing, its own movie, its own world. And then, he becomes part of the team if, he wants at times, whereas Iron Fist is in New York. Iron Fist is much more involved with the street level stuff. I always saw Shang-Chi as a little bit above that. When he's hiding out, when he's training, sure. But I always saw Shang-Chi and Iron Fist as very different characters. So I hope they don't introduce Iron Fist this early, but I don't disagree with where your head's at. All right, back to the news, you lovelies. In addition to the Shang-Chi trailer, we got a bunch of just rapid information. I'm gonna go through it, and then you guys can chime in if you like. Into the SpiderVerse now has 2 directors. Into the SpiderVerse now has, 3 directors. It has the director that was announced originally, and then they added 2 directors, that's why I wrote down 2, and one of them is the production designer on Into the SpiderVerse 1, and the other one is the director of Soul, which, or one of the directors of Soul, I'm not sure. Animation's a very different thing than live-action filmmaking, which is more of what I'm used to. But now 3 directors. Now this would worry me on a live-action project for many reasons, but the first film had 3 directors and is one of my favorite properties of all time. It has a bevy of writers. It has a lot going on. So I don't think this having 3 directors is a bad thing. Again, it would freak me out if it was any other property, but honestly, I could see this needing that many directors because there's going to be a lot of moving parts. There's going to be first, second, third unit animation teams. There's going to be people doing the villain, the heroes, the clothing, the background, all these things. So I'm really excited to have all of that in the very capable hands of these three directors. Soul is my favorite movie of 2020, so anyone involved with Soul being involved with Spider-Verse is going to make me very, very happy. I'm very fucking amped for the Spider-Verse 2, so any news we get from that makes me very happy indeed. So now, 3 directors into the Spider-Verse 2. We also had casting news over at Marvel. Olivia Colman and Emilia Clarke are in Secret Invasion. Olivia Colman is an actress who has all sorts of accolades in her name. She's got Oscar buzz, she's got Emmy buzz, she is a very prestigious actor. I looked at her IMDb and I have not seen anything she is in, which means I have a very big blind spot for her prestige. There's a certain prestige I'm just not aware of, and it's Olivia Colman prestige, but I hear she's great. Emilia Clarke, I have loved in everything I've seen her in, except Terminator, because nobody needs to see that. But she's great in rom-coms. She's solid in Game of Thrones. I haven't watched a lot of Game of Thrones, but what I have seen, she's a fucking force of nature in. I am very in for Emilia Clarke in my Secret Invasion, and I hear Olivia Colman's great. I'm not going to lie to you and say I'm an Olivia Colman fan, because that feels invalidating to the rest of the things I discuss. But I am really, really excited for these two titans of acting to be in Secret Invasion from their reputations alone. Last bit of Marvel TV news transferring from Secret Invasion is Falcon and Winter Soldier is going to compete in the drama category in the Emmys, whereas WandaVision will be competing in the limited series category in the Emmys, which means, spoiler alert I guess, that the end of Falcon Winter Soldier on Friday is not the end of the series, which is fucking amazing. Because I love the way the show is paced. I love the way we've gotten these two characters together. I love the montage we had in this last episode, but I would also love a full-on Lethal Weapon 5. I would love Lethal Weapon 5 Season 2. I want them to be, you know, buddy cops now. Now we've got that for 1 episode, 1.5. I would like that for a whole season. So give me Season 2. This Emmy thing means it's not over. It also means that WandaVision and Falcon Winter Soldier won't be competing against each other, which is very clever. But I'm very excited for this Emmy run, and I'm very excited for the show to keep going. I want a Season 2, please and thank you. Before we get to the Alfred Molina quotes, which are many, there are many Alfred Molina quotes, I want to check the live chat because I see it moving very quickly today. Apparently me doing this show on the later side is better for everyone because we have more people the later I do the show. So 5:30 seems to work better than 5. Show used to be at 4. You guys, I've said many times, are my co-host, so I do try to accommodate your schedules, and it seems the later is better. So let me look at the live chat real quick while I'm pulling up these quotes for Doc Ock, which are just so much. If you want to avoid all Spider-Man information, maybe skip a minute ahead, 2 minutes ahead if you're watching this not in the live, or mute it for the next minutes if you are watching it live. But let me get into the chat real quick. I have not seen Fleabag. Vanco, my Streamlabs does seem to be working for others. You can check the Streamlabs and the Super Chat seem to be working, but let me click through. Maybe something is afoot. I appreciate you wanting to click this button. When I click it, it brings me to my Streamlabs. So it does seem to be working on my end, for whatever that's worth. I apologize for any chaos or confusion that you're experiencing. Lord Miller writing super dope. I totally agree. My mom's in the chat. Hello, mother. I love the continuity between Coycast and Coy's YouTube, but also sad that Coy has more continuity than most DC properties. Travis, what's fun is I prep these two shows to incorporate each other. I try not to be redundant. I try not to say the same shit. Like on tomorrow's Coycast, I do talk about the Shang-Chi trailer, but I don't talk about the specific things I talked about here. I talk about some other news, but I try to avoid. There's like a 20-25% crossover, but I do try to keep it feisty and fresh. So I appreciate you noticing very much and listening to both Coy Cubed and Coycast, and I appreciate your joke about my continuity very, very much. People are saying this time is better, and people are enjoying the later. And yes, many beans are spilled. Lewis, I'm excited for Shang-Chi teaser trailer that I am also excited for Eternals. The Eternals we've still seen no footage of. We would have already seen the fucking movie. It would actually already be out on Disney Plus by now because it was supposed to come out in November. Add 6 months to that is April. So it would already be available to us here. I'm really excited to see it soon. I'm really curious about the footage. I also kind of love that they got 1.5 years of extra time for post-production and making that real pretty, because I hear that movie is just stunning on film, so I'm very excited for that. Hold my brick. You already knew I had to show my love, Coy. Hold my brick. Always appreciated. Welcome, one of our newest patrons in the Discord, in the Super Chat, doing the work. I appreciate it very much, good sir. I'm going to jump back to the news. Thank you both for the Super Chat, StreamYard situations. Much appreciated. Back to Alfred Molina. Okay, again, I gave as much warning as I could. There are spoilers to Spider-Man No Way Home here, but they've been all over the internet for almost a week. And, I mean, now that he's revealed them, they're going to have to do their marketing a little differently. And this movie comes out in December, which doesn't make sense to my brain. To me, the last movie we had for Marvel was a Spider-Man movie, so it doesn't make sense that we have another Spider-Man movie so soon, but in between that we have 3 other Marvel movies. Between now and December, we have Shang-Chi, Eternals, and Black Widow. So we'll be caught up. It just feels really weird that I feel like I just went to London to do press for Spider-Man because the world stopped, and now time is a flat circle. Okay, Alfred Molina said the following in the real life. When we were shooting it, we were all under orders not to talk about it because it was supposed to be some great big secret. But you know, it's all over the internet. Actually described myself as the worst kept secret in Hollywood. That's how he opens. Oh boy, Alfred Molina. This is Variety, by the way. This isn't some paparazzi rag. This is a real publication. That's why I do not know how Kevin Feige's handling this right now. It was wonderful, he said. It was very interesting going back after 17 years to play the same role. Given that in the intervening years, I now have 2 chins, a waddle, crow's feet, and a slightly dodgy lower back. So he's talking about going back to play a character after 17 years, aging as humans do, but playing the character. This is where it gets really interesting. When the actor asked John Watts, director of No Way Home, how the movie would bring back Doc Ock, he said, quote, "I died," to the director. John Watts responded, "In this universe, no one really dies." That is a lot. That is a lot of information, Mr. Alfred Molina. Further saying that in their early conversations, Watts told the movie would pick up Doc Ock's story from that moment in the river, which is very interesting with multiverses, timelines, and all these other things. And when he asked about him being now 67 when he filmed that at 50, he said, he just looked at me and said, "Did you see what we did to Bob Downey Jr. and Sam Jackson?" So we're de-aging him, confirmed. It takes place the moment in the river, and no one dies. This is the Sinister Six. Like, the multiverse is happening. They're doing an interdimensional Sinister Six. Mysterio's gonna be back. There's a lot revealed right here. This is insane. It's confirming my craziest theories. I mean, not confirming. It's giving more fuel to my craziest theories. You can check out this whole interview over at Variety. There's a lot more quotes. There's a lot more going on. I don't want to give anything else, but those quotes are what we've been talking about right here for the last year. I think we're getting an interdimensional Sinister Six. I think Michael Keaton's Vulture recruits them. I think that's why he's in Morbius, and I think that they might have even already secretly filmed a Spider-Man 4 that's into the Spider-Verse. I don't know if he lied about Tobey and Andrew Garfield being in this movie. They might be in a post-credit scene. They might be in Spider-Man 4. Or it's him versus all these villains. I don't know how it's going to work, but it's crazy. All that being said, who knows? I love that this could all just be a giant mislead. Oh, that's funny. Joel just said, Alfred's words confirm my suspicions. Either they're true or he's trolling us. That is what I was about to get into, is like, this would be the best thing ever if he's like not playing Doc Ock and he's like a baker or a butcher or a candlestick maker and we're just being trolled by a master troll. I would love that. I would also love if they've just been lying to Tom Holland and all these actors are in it. We don't know. This is in its own way very good marketing for a movie out in December, because we're going to be talking about it up until December. We'll find out one way or another, and that movie's going to make $1 billion. We've also got a chat from Venko who made it in. He figured it out. My internet and his internet were fighting. They've solved it. All right, nervous that Shang-Chi will be theaters only. Not because I don't want to see it in theaters, but because Canada's been doing horribly with vaccines, so I still won't be fully vaccinated by September. Is it so backed up, you know? 5 months from now is going to be that bad? I'm so sorry. I tried unplugging it and plugging it back in. Did this work? Let me know. I left, I came back, I stopped the stream, I restarted the stream. It looks like it might be working. Yes, it's working again. Okay, we were talking about the great Rose Kirby. I think Venko I think I got through Venko and the concern about the vaccine. I hope everyone's good, and we're back, and it's Venko's fault. Just blaming Venko, carte blanche. Rose Kirby, thank you, first of all. Rose Kirby had the following to say. Rose said, I turned the potato scale essay into a video. One that warms my heart like you wouldn't believe. The potato scale is near and dear to me, and I need to make more out of it, but this is already just so, I appreciate you so much. I can't send the link via super chat, so I'll send in the other chat. I can also DM it to you, question mark. A shout out would be great. My channel is Lizzie Hamilton. Okay, first of all, thank you for giving a shit about the potato scale. I love it dearly. 2, I'm horrible at DMs because I get enough that it's overwhelming, but I will look for your name and wherever you want to DM me. I would recommend the Discord if you're a patron. If you're not, I know you're a patron. Send it in the Discord. Send that shit in the Discord. I want to see it. Please. Please. And 3, Lizzie Hamilton is her channel. If you follow this channel, check out Lizzie Hamilton, the channel, because Rose Kirby is a gangsta. She made an entire video about the potato scale. If you know what the potato scale is, well, she'll teach you. And yeah, that is dope as fuck. Thank you. I really, truly, that warms my heart. I appreciate it very, very much. And now we can forgive Venko because we're all back together, and Venko apologizes in the Canadian way of saying sorry. And I appreciate you both, Venko and Rose Kirby. Rose Kirby, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, back to it, you lovelies. I'm so excited to watch that video, this essay about the potato scale. Fuck yeah. Okay. Okay. Speaking of a delayed moment finally taking place, a la this frame freezing, the Flash movie is finally filming. Maybe? Okay, we're back. I'm gonna talk fast because it seems to be cantankerous today. Me and this thing are fighting today. Okay, Flash movie, back to filming. 5 years after Kiersey Clemons was cast in the original Flash movie, she was recast to be in Andy Muschietti's Flash movie. Now they're actually filming. I didn't think it would ever happen. Ironic because not only is Flash the fastest man alive, but he's also always late to shit. This movie being late is very funny, very meta, and Michael Keaton is confirmed. Michael Keaton is in the Flash movie, which is now filming. Okay, again, I'm gonna power through because I don't trust this connection. Who knows what might happen? Mad Max also finally filming. I am obsessed with Mad Max Fury Road. I love the original 3 Mad Maxes. I am so excited for this. George Miller is back to helm another Mad Max. It is a prequel. It is a Furiosa story. It stars Anya Taylor-Joy as Furiosa. It's also got Chris Hemsworth in it, and it's the biggest production in the history of Australia. It is the biggest production in New South Wales ever. It is going to be huge. I am overjoyed. People thought George Miller was too old in his early 70s to make Fury Road, and then he revolutionized the action genre. Now, in his late 70s, he's going to revolutionize the action genre again by blowing our minds again. The amount of fighting he had with the studio in that last movie is not going to happen because they were like, whoa, you changed action movies. Boom, give him a bigger budget. Let him play in Australia. This is probably, after The Batman, my most anticipated movie that's been announced is Mad Max Furiosa. I am so excited for Anya Taylor-Joy, Chris Hemsworth, and some Mad Maxian action. Okay, more speed, more speed. It'll also span years and again be Australia's biggest production ever. Ted Lasso 2 got a trailer this morning. Ted Lasso 2 is season 2 of probably my favorite comedy of the last decade. I'm a huge sucker for The Good Place. Don't get me wrong, but this is right up there with it. They're both A+. They're both tied for first. I don't give A+ ever. If you guys are patrons, you know how rare it is to see an A+ for comic books or for movies or for books. I don't give them. I don't believe in perfection. The Good Place and Ted Lasso are perfection. The thing I don't believe in has been accomplished twice. Maybe only twice. I'm obsessed. Watch Ted Lasso if you can. It's an Apple Plus show. And if you can't, watch the trailer because it is delightful. It was released this morning. It also got a release date of July 23rd for season 2. So beyond excited. I talk so fast to give myself the hiccups. And I cannot wait for this show. It is optimistic, it is earnest, it is lovely, it is positive, it is heart, it is tears, it is laughter, but it's always so authentic. Everything feels so impossibly real while being the most uplifting show ever. He's saccharine sweet, but you don't get sick of him. It is impossible. The show's written so well, supporting cast, leads, situations, everything. Ted Lasso is perfect. Season 2 is coming out July 23rd. Also watch The Good Place. It's on Hulu. Also perfect. I think modern shows, Breaking Bad's my number one, Ted Lasso and Good Place are tied for second, but number one in comedies. Kingdom is my number 3/4. And then what would my number 5 be? The rest of television. That's how good those 4 shows are. All right, next bit of news. Speaking of TV shows, Gotham will focus on Commissioner Gordon. It won't be a Gotham Central show. It is specifically Jeffrey Wright's Commissioner Gordon, which I think is a great idea. Commissioner Gordon is a very, very, very well-versed character. He needs time to shine, and he's the opposite of Batman in a lot of ways in how he handles his things. It'll also build out the universe of Gotham without clouding timing and those things. I think a Jeffrey Wright-led show about Gotham is going to be exceptional. I'm very excited for it. Give me all of that. Ian Roth in the chat. My dog's so shitty, I call him Andy Muschietti. I'm going to repeat that because it's great. My dog's so shitty, I call him Andy Muschietti. Ian Roth, everyone. Ian Roth, you get a full-on golf clap, sir. That is excellent work. Excellent work. Hold my brick with what Molina said about No Way Home, leading with Doc's death in Spider-Man 2. Are they just going to make Spider-Man 3 not exist because people hated it? What I'm curious is, does Spider-Man 4 spin out of this Spider-Man movie, reigniting the Sam Raimi universe, where they can kind of ignore Spider-Man 3, but also give us another Tobey film now that Sam Raimi's working for Marvel with Doctor Strange 2. There's a rumor going around that they'll make a Spider-Man 4. So I think we can get out of worrying about Spider-Man 3 being the last movie by giving us a 4th one. And I think that's what's going to happen. Hold my brick. I think we're getting a secret Spider-Man 4. I shouldn't say I think. I think it's a possibility. We get Tobey Maguire back as Spider-Man 4, directed by Sam Raimi as an apology tour. And I think that could spin out of Spider-Man No Way Home. Maybe. Could happen. Crazier things have happened. All right. More news coming at you. Army of the Dead, the trailer, we talked about it last week. It's a spectacular experience. I'm very excited for Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead. Found out that tiger is in fact based off of Tiger King. I never watched Tiger King, not my cup of tea, but that's very funny. Tiger King's tiger is the tiger in Army of the Dead. Stranger Things 4 might not get released until 2022, according to Finn Wolfhard, because COVID, scheduling, all of those things. We will see, but if you're a Stranger Things fan, as I am, it might be 2022 till we get to hang out with those kids again. It's really funny to me that Stranger Things and Shazam 2 are 2 of the biggest delays because those kids are going to be 8 feet tall. Puberty hits like a brick wall, and it's going to be very different when you see these kids. And then 2 years passing for teenagers is very different than 2 years passing for us. I'm fascinated by what Shazam 2 is going to look like, and I'm fascinated by what Stranger Things 4 is going to look like. 2022 might be Stranger Things 4, according to the great Finn Wolfhard. We talked about a Spider-Man 4 rumor. I also want to talk about a Wolverine rumor. This is a rumor. It's been going around. It's been everywhere. I usually don't address rumors, but I think this rumor is actually a great idea, so I'm going to address it. The rumor is that they're doing a Wolverine Disney Plus show, separate from the X-Men movies. That's perfect. The X-Men shouldn't have Wolverine in them right away. Wolverine is a big cash cow character. Wolverine doesn't age. Give us an anthology series with Wolverine. Have him be a samurai. Have him go through the war-torn Americas like he did in the opening of the worst Wolverine movie ever. That scene was the best scene in the movie. Have him evolve, go through the 20s and 50s and 70s and catch up to modern day. And after we've introduced the X-Men, bring him into year 3 of the X-Men, already established. Have Disney Plus have Wolverine for a few seasons, and then bring him into the X-Men movies. I think this is genius. People are going to be clamoring for Wolverine. As soon as they see an X-Men movie, they're going to want Wolverine. Wolverine shouldn't be there at the jump. This is having your cake and eating it too. I think this is perfect. It is a rumor. I don't know if it's going to happen, but a Wolverine Disney Plus show I think is an inspired choice. I think it would solve a lot of problems, and it would give a lot of people that want a Wolverine thing in their X-Men a bit of a methadone on the way to the heroin that is the X-Men experience. So I think it's a really good call. I think it's really exciting. Speaking of rumors, They had Scream shoot multiple murders and multiple endings, just like they did the last few, for Scream 5 to prevent rumors and to prevent spoilers, and I love that. The last Scream did it as well. I think it's genius. If you got the actors on set, you don't want things to get leaked, you make a bunch of movie, you release one cut. It also is a good opportunity to test screen different audiences and then curate the experience that does best. I think it's genius. I think more movies should do it. We talked about the first 7 minutes of Mortal Kombat being available right now, and the last bit of news is a bit political, so if you guys have a problem with the real world and only want to live in the world of fiction, I'm about to get into the real world. It is about Ryan Coogler, which ties into fiction, but it's about the voting situation going on in Georgia. I am big on democracy and about people's ability to vote, and I think it's very, very important that if you are going to claim you live in a democracy, you get to voice your opinion. The voting war that's going on with taking people out of their ability to vote, especially people of color and especially people of a certain lower tax bracket, is bullshit. And Georgia is at the forefront of that. Georgia also, just last year, is the reason this country is getting fixed. Georgia has done more for this country than a lot of other states. They've pushed hard. Stacey Abrams is a titan. Georgia needs help. So Will Smith, we talked about last week, pulled his movie out of Georgia because of these new laws about voting. I love what Ryan Coogler had to say to the contrary when they asked him if he was still going to film Black Panther 2 in Georgia, where Pinewood is, where Marvel filmed their films. He said, quote, "Having now spoken with voting rights activists in the state, I have come to understand that many of the people employed by my film, including all of the local vendors and businesses we engage with, are the very same people who will bear the brunt of SB 202. For those reasons, I will not be engaging in a boycott in Georgia. What I will be doing is using my voice to emphasize the effects of SB 202, its shameful roots in Jim Crow, and doing all I can to support organizations fighting voter suppression here in the state." Fuck yeah, Ryan Coogler. I love this. Instead of taking jobs away from people that need it more than ever, he is going to use his platform. He's the director of one of the biggest movies of all time to speak out on something horrific. So this is jobs. This is an opportunity for people to make some money while they're in town, but also he's going to be talking about it. Like I just read a quote. This is a few more people talking about it. So SB 202 is some bullshit, and Ryan Coogler's taking a stand for it. So I think this is the way to do it. I think this is amazing, and I wanted you guys to hear it from me. Look up Ryan Coogler's handling of this SB 202. Keep an eye out on how other filmmakers handle it, and think about what your money goes to. Think about how we all vote with our wallets. Think about how we can make changes. I love Chick-fil-A. I fucking love Chick-fil-A. It's fucking delicious. But a lot of their money goes to hate, and I haven't had Chick-fil-A in a long time. I miss it. It's delicious, but I can't willfully give my money to hate. I can't give my money to go against people I care and love. So I love that Ryan Coogler is doing the same. He's like, I could leave and I'd make a statement, but I want to help these people. The money needs to go to these people, and I'm going to use my voice. So this is how it's done, Ryan Coogler, Black Panther 2. Fuck yeah. Also today, as you guys might have seen, Derek Chauvin, whatever the fuck his name is, was thrice guilty, as he should have been. That trial shouldn't have been 4 weeks. It should have been 4 minutes. And motherfucker's going to jail, and he should. And it's not, in my opinion, justice until no one else is killed for the color of their skin, but it's a step. It's accountability. It's a cost, and it's a step in the right direction. As the trial was going on, a 15-year-old girl was shot in the chest for calling the cops because she had a knife and was defending herself against someone else and was shot in the chest by the police that she called. So it isn't justice yet because we're still living in a country that has military and calls them cops and takes its own out. But it is accountability. And I very, very, very much appreciate the happiness everyone's feeling today, and I have tried to find the joy in it as well. But it's really hard when those two things are happening simultaneously. So this was a good step, and I'm gonna be optimistic. I'm gonna be Ted Lasso about it, which is a step in the right direction. But fuck, right? But yeah, moving on. I don't want to dwell. I want to get into comic books. I want to get into my pull list. I'm going to get into my streamer recommendations. I'm going to check the live chat real quick. But it is a step in the right direction for accountability and for those other things that are important. Wolverine show, Echo show, Secret Invasion, maybe Secret Avengers 2. I think Young Avengers is coming very, very soon. Coy, just in case you missed it in the first round, quick question. Am I the only one? I didn't see any dates. Am I the only one who wants to know if Doc Ock was born 8th of October 1988? Just me? I'll see myself out. I see what you did there. It's very clever. I respect it. I appreciate it. I think Avi Arad has learned a lesson. I hope so. I was just reading more recent decisions from Avi. I'm not sure about that, unfortunately. Is Marvel staying in Atlanta? I mean, if they stay, BP2 and therefore Kugler stays, but we talked about that. We'll need to relocate to Georgia. We can all get a big house like the TikTokers. Or is it TikTokies? That is the question, Ian. TikToker, TikTokie. I am now a TikTokian myself. I've been saying TikTokian. One who TikToks. If you could time travel like Wolverine in Days of Future Past, like the Avengers in Endgame, what way would you time travel? Oh boy. I guess like Avengers, it seems more rooted in a science that I can kind of understand. Man, I don't get the love for Chick-fil-A. Maybe Michigan gets the bad chickens. Dude, Chick-fil-A is delicious. So fucking good. Hold my brick. I'm excited to see if they bring in Emma Stone, but as Spider-Gwen and see how Andrew's Peter Parker acknowledges her because of his timeline. I would love to see Emma Stone play Spider-Gwen and lots of stuff. I've heard that rumor. I don't know how true it is, but I would love it. I would love an Emma Stone Spider-Gwen movie. I would love an entire Spider-Gwen universe, especially with Emma Stone. It will be interesting if that is acknowledged and if that's how they bring her back in. She's a boss, so they should make her more of a lead. She's an incredible actor, and I would love to see her as Spider-Gwen, and I love your idea. Good, sir. God, I miss Chick-fil-A. That's why I don't say much. Oof, Coy, I work at Chick-fil-A. Rose Kirby works at Chick-fil-A. What are the chances that the purveyor of the potato scale dishes potatoes of a very delicious variety? I'm not blaming you. You need a job, and that is the American way, is getting the job you can and doing what you can and fucking hustling. Your money isn't going to hate. You're getting paid. I can't give my money to a company that does that. You receive money from them, that's not your fault. You need a job. Zero judgment. The irony is fucking real that I happen to talk about Chick-fil-A today. But you're not doing the hate. You're clearly a good person. You care about people. You're in this chat. You're great. Don't feel bad. The company's a mess. I just fucking, what are the chances? What are the chances, Rose Kirby? Let's see. Rose, people are looking for your chat. I mean, people are looking for YouTube right now. Ian Roth's looking. We plugged your YouTube. People are looking. Joel, as a Georgia citizen, I'll say plenty of people here were confused how the elections ended when most of our counties were red. Just being honest, but thanks for speaking your mind on it. Yeah, I mean, that's my family lives in Georgia, and the density was what they experienced. Like blue versus red was like, there's lots of spread out land with individuals and then dense blue. I know a lot of my friends that have moved to Georgia in the last 5 years are very blue leaning. So they would have voted that way, and they're in the more Alpharetta, Buckhead, denser hubs. So I am not a sociology nor geopolitical major, nor will I begin to speak on elections in this sense. I'll speak on it from my own perspective, but not about the fucking voting thing. So I don't know, Joel, but I do know from my experience, everyone that I know that went to Georgia wanted, some people I know moved there 3 years ago to just fucking help it turn blue. So I don't know, to be totally honest with you, because they moved there hoping that they could help the world be better, and that's why they went. But we will see. Okay, let's see. Spider-Gwen, PS5 would also be awesome. That would be great if she's in that game. The All-Star game should have been in Atlanta. The Love for Hand Carrot is awesome. My husband is live. I'm betrothed, it would seem. Let's see. Vanco, yes and no. I don't really know how to explain it. Densely populated counties went out. That was my theory. Yes. Okay, Ian has found Rose. Nobody can find it. YouTube's hide many channels like mine. Rose, we're gonna find a way for people to find it. That is going to happen. I will say again that the name of the channel of Miss Rose Kirby is Lizzie Hamilton. Hunt down Lizzie Hamilton. Lizzie space Hamilton. Hamilton. Lizzie Hamilton. Find it. Pursue it. Hunt it down. Dude, I don't hate anybody, man. Hold my brick. I live in Mississippi and it's very red. Even my family don't hate me, Coy. I don't hate anybody. I hate people that hate, but I don't think that's you, man. So I guess I do hate people. I hate bad people. You are not You can't control where you live. You can't control your family. All you can control is your own decisions. All you can control is what you decide to do with the time you're given on this planet. All you can control is how you choose to act. You, good sir, are an EMT. You are saving lives. I cannot imagine you have a problem with how someone chooses to live, or who they choose to love, or what skin color they're born with. I can't imagine that's a thing that you, good sir, feel. So you being in Mississippi, or you being part of a red family, none of that is anything to do with anything. I'm just glad that places are starting to think about people more than businesses and lives more than money, because that's how I feel. And people are gonna fucking get mad at me in this very video. I will get comments, I'll get downvotes, I'll get all that shit. But that's how I honestly feel. And just like Ryan Coogler can't not talk about it anymore, because fucking complicity in silence is part of the problem. So, yeah, man, I got nothing against Mississippi. Nothing against people that don't hate people. All right, let's do some talks about Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Speaking about racism, this episode addressed race in a way that I don't think I ever expected Disney to go. This episode took the race conversation head on and fucking handled it in a beautifully powerful, painful, important way. It was topical, it was nuanced, it was fucking great to see this big of a contributor to this country's capital address it so head on. Like, Disney's a lot of money, and that big of a company really fucking going at it was very impressive. I did a full hour-long talk about just those few scenes on my other YouTube, The Late Con with Coy-Jandreau. If you guys want to see my full-on breakdown of the episode, The Late Con with Coy-Jandreau. I don't want to break it down a second time here, because I did break it down for a full hour, but I will say a couple highlights for me. Important subject matter handled masterfully. The pain of doing nothing versus the pain of enduring a horrible hardship and what that means for Americans, especially Black Americans. I thought that was fucking just, I care so much about these characters, and it was so beautifully done. Superhero buddy cop goodness, comedy, plot development all at once. The boat scene gave us plot, gave us comedy, gave us buddy cop goodness, very happy. Character evolution through actions. Dropping the shield next to Falcon with a knowing look is a beautiful gesture, and then explaining the conversation about him and Steve not realizing what it was like to give a black man the shield through that frisbee toss of training. That's action, that's training, that's plot movement, that's brilliant writing. I really fucking love that scene. That scene was one of the best in the MCU. Quite enjoyed it. The new Falcon is born. Joaquin Torres now has the wings. Great fucking move. Comic book action aplenty. The arm break in the opening. The three-way fight that mirrors the Infinity War. The Civil War fight. The Winter Soldier style team up was amazing. Great use of wings and arm and just comic book excitement. Fantastic cameo. Introduction of a new character. We now have Madam Hydra, played by Julie Louis-Dreyfus. A fucking powerhouse performance in one scene where she's going to pop back up in Black Widow. We'll meet her differently. I think she's going to be kind of an inverse Nick Fury and might be recruiting the Dark Avengers or the Thunderbolts. I think she might be the bad Nick Fury in this universe. I can't be sure, but that's what I think it's going with. In the comic book, she's a sometimes love interest of Nick Fury. She's a triple agent. Check out my TikTok about Allegra herself. We had a training montage. I'm an 80s kid. I'm a sucker for a montage. I'm very excited for a montage ever, and now we have a Marvel montage episode with all of this other stuff going on, and it was about working out, which is something I enjoy. Real world tie-ins. 332nd Airborne and Red Tails are real. Erasing history is a real problem. Refugees and that one line from the GRC about the blip and people relocating and all that hit me fucking hard. An MMA fighter who can actually act. Georges St. Pierre playing Georges Batroc as a fucking medium-sized bad is so inspired. I'm such an MMA guy. It's so good to see an actor that can actually fight, and it's even crazier to see an MMA fighter that can actually act, because we've had some other ones that can't really, so I was really impressed. Juggling multiple villains. In this episode, we had Flag Smashers, Sharon is possibly the power broker, Batroc, U.S. Agent, GRC, and it never felt crowded. We also had an incredible courtroom scene from John Walker, brilliant action from Wyatt Russell. Dora Milaje calling further world building. I cannot wait for the Wakanda show. The Dora Milaje are always awesome to see on screen. That makes me want the show even more. They're only in a couple scenes, but every scene is awesome. This also gives us a great Zemo setup, because you shouldn't put Zemo in the raft where you can recruit Thunderbolts. Come on, what are you doing? And the suit cliffhanger I thought was exceptional. I didn't want to see it in this episode. I wanted us to wait for a week, and that's exactly what they did, and they built it up so perfectly. Cannot wait for the reveal of that suit. And a post-credit scene of U.S. Agent was inspired. If you want to see, again, a full hour of me breaking it down, either on my Instagram, Coy-Jandreau, or the Late Con with Coy-Jandreau, full hour breakdown of Episode 5. Whew, that is what I thought of Episode 5 of Falcon Winter Soldier. This week is the finale this very Friday. I'm going to check the live chat one more time before I give out the comic recs I recommend. No hate here, been a long day. I totally get it. Do a better job than expected. Wait, it's a holiday. I don't know what's going on. There's a holiday with The Rock's Black Adam. First foe is Superman, not Shazam. Ooh, that's an interesting idea. Will The Rock's Black Adam's first foe be Superman, not Shazam? I don't know what they're doing with Henry Cavill. I hope so, but that movie's got the JSA in it. Who knows what's going to go on over there? Vanko can't believe they actually critiqued Steve in a way that acknowledged his whiteness, narrowed his viewpoint, and didn't see it as an F Steve moment. Right? That was so well written. He's from the 40s. It wasn't something he would have thought of. It's not something Sebastian Stan thought of. It's not something most modern white dudes would think of. Such a great moment because it humanized Steve. You guys might know, I'm a Last Jedi fan. I think that's the best modern Star Wars movie because you need to humanize your heroes. You need to understand that legends are just legends. That's fake. The human beneath them is real. And that was a moment that Last Jedi'd Steve. And I thought that was inspired. I thought it was a great way to make, Chris Evans' character more interesting. It's much more interesting if someone's not perfect. That's why Superman's so hard to translate. I loved that moment. Vanko, I totally agree. It wasn't an F. Steve moment. It just gave us a different view of a character, and I thought it was perfect. I totally agree with you, man. Bucky's arm and right-handedness was hilarious. I love that very much. Lizzie Hamilton plug. Find Lizzie Hamilton. It's back in here. Recruiting for Hammer, also an option. Secret Invasion. I would love Armor Wars to have Sam Rockwell. Thank you guys so much for the love. Blushing, we're happy to help. Let's see. David Hasselhoff's Nick Fury better show up. We're going to get a Marvel Multiverse. Also, Jim Steranko art. Dude, I would love to see David Hasselhoff back. It'd be amazing. Hold my brick. I graduate June 12th. I can have 4 people attend. How much to get to Coy to Mississippi? I cannot travel in June, good sir, especially to Mississippi. I'm actually so overwhelmed. I'm trying to get home in May to my family. They just moved to Georgia. They're in Georgia now. They've been there a little while, actually. But I'm from Boston, so Georgia just seems so removed. Anyway, I'm trying to make time to see my family who I haven't seen in a year and a half, so I cannot make it to Mississippi, unfortunately. But happy graduation, June 12th. I am very proud of you. Keep crushing it. I'm so stoked for you, and keep being awesome. All right, that is going to be it for the live chat. I'm going to dive in to comic book recommendations. For the last week, the books I enjoyed the most from last week, the week of the 14th, my favorite books were Batman Detective #1, Tom Taylor's new Batman book. Black Cat #5, I love this title from Jed McKay. Chip Zdarsky's Daredevil #29 continues to wow me. Iron Fist, Heart of the Dragon #4, great miniseries with Iron Fist. Iron Man #8, it's losing me a little bit, but I'm still really enjoying this series. Joker #2, if you ever wondered what it would be like for Commissioner Gordon to hunt down the Joker, maybe kill him. This is a great little espionage mystery book. Carmen #2, very French, very sexual, very powerful read, very different than most American comics. I'm really enjoying Carmen. It's only an issue 2. Nonstop Spider-Man #2, probably the most action-packed 23 pages you're going to experience. Written by Joe Kelly, drawn by Chris Pichello, a powerhouse book. Could not recommend it more. Love this title. Rorschach #7, reaching the 3rd act of Tom King's incredible Rorschach 12-issue maxi series. We're starting to get some answers to some of the mysteries as it unfolds. Scumbag #7, Rick Remender of Deadly Class fame, doing the work. Love this title. Scumbag is one of my favorite new titles in a very long time. That and I don't want to list all my favorite new titles, but Scumbag's up there. It is a great perspective on politics without being as a political comic. It's an action perversion comic. It feels like if Hunter S. Thompson wrote a comic. It's fantastic. I have a lot of love for Scumbag. It's also referenced Hunter a number of times. Thor #14 is my final book of the week. Donny Cates, Thor #14 is the end of the Prey arc, and it is exceptional. Nick Klein art, Donny Cates words, it's a good old time. Those are my favorite books from last week. The books I recommend you check out this week, tomorrow, the 21st of April. Also, happy 420 if you're into that sort of thing. I don't particularly marijuana myself. That chemical doesn't suit my brain. I'm a bit of a hyper fellow. When I get subdued, I tend to panic, and weed makes me anxious. But a lot of people enjoy the ganja, so happy weed day to you and yours if you partake in partakes. 421, tomorrow, I recommend you pick up Alien #2, Amazing Spider-Man 64, Avengers 45, Black Knight Curse the Ebony Blade #2, Captain Marvel 28, Carnage Black, White and Blood #2, Catwoman 30, I've read that issue. Catwoman 30 is so fucking good. I love Catwoman #30. This issue is spectacular. Champions #6, Eternals #4, Flash 769, Justice League 60. Also read that one. Very, very good work from Brian Michael Bendis. It is the opposite of the doom and gloom of Snyder's Justice League. If you like that, you might not like this book. I like Bendis's more lighthearted Justice League, and this is hitting me right in the feels. I'm very much enjoying it. Mighty Valkyries #1, Nightwing 79. I've also read this issue. This is Tom Taylor's second issue with Nightwing, and holy shit, does it take you in the feels. Very solid book, great action, beautiful art, beautiful heart. Check it out. Nightwing 79. Radiant Black #3, an incredible new title. Highly recommend Radiant Black. It's got a Spider-Man Silver Age feel to it. Spider-Woman #11, Stray Dogs #3, Superman Red and Blue #2, Sword #5, Way of X #1, Women of Marvel #1, and X-Force 19 are all the books that I'm going to check out this week, and that is gonna do it. E. Walter 23 is Love and Scumbag. Such a good read. I totally agree. Let's see what else is going on. Okay. I'm going to get as much live chat as I can. I scrolled up a little bit, and it's moving quick. Iron Man #8, Arturo is enjoying, it seems. Let's see. People are digging Spider-Man, Spider Shadow. I liked it. I liked those other books more, but I liked it. Our message is not being sent now. Weird. I don't know what's going on. Weed makes me anxious too. Hell yeah, Munchkin. Welcome to the suck. It's awful. Everyone is always like, here, you'll feel better. And I can't do indica. I can't do sativa. It just spins me the fuck out. I would love something to calm me. I just can't do that chemical. It's a real bummer. I just drink wine and the occasional cigar. I just drink a lot of different things, and I don't smoke, but I'm glad that calms you. Happy birthday to me on the 26th. Joel Rolston's birthday on the 26th. What should I read? Joel Rolston, how old are you turning? Let me know in the chat. Give me an age, and I'll think of a book that I would have enjoyed at that year of my life. If you're younger than me, if you're older than me, I'll just recommend a book. But if you're younger than me, I'll try to think of how I felt that year. Ian, microdose with edibles, 2.5 or 5 milligrams than read comics. I would rather microdose with something else and then read comics. But that's just me. Everyone's got their own thing. Everyone's got their own chemicals. Everyone's got their own brain chemistry. I will say, without specificity, microdosing in comics is a great time. I do not disagree with you. Mr. Ian Roth, he chooses weed. I choose other things, but microdosing in comics is a good time. Let's see, happy birthday, Joel. Joel, thanks, guys. I haven't read Outcast. Joel, as soon as you let me know what age you're turning, if you don't mind revealing that sensitive information, I will recommend a book off the top of my head. Never mind, I got my comment. The question answered on the screen. I guess links aren't going through. Interesting. Oh yeah, I don't think links work in the chat. 29. Okay, so we're similar ages. Fuck. I read Saga again at 29, and it blew me away in a different way. Why the Last Man is a very good book for late 20s. Sex Criminals is an exceptional book for late 20s. Saga, Why the Last Man, Sex Criminals, in that order. And if you've read all those, Department of Truth will fuck you right up, and the first trade just came out. And if you want something more fun about aging, Spider-Man Life Story. Those are my 5 recommendations. All right. Internet, I'm going to give you some streaming recs, and then we're going to call it. We're going to call it a day. We're going to call it a wrap. This hour-long show with 2 big old gaps of computer freezing. I recommend on streaming for this week, the end of April, over on Netflix, Synchronic. My buddies Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead are directing some Moon Knight. You might care about Moon Knight if you are like me or watching this an hour in. You probably love Moon Knight. 2 of my buddies are directing some Moon Knight. They directed this movie Synchronic with Anthony Mackie and Mr. Grey, Mr. 50 Shades of Grey, Jamie Dornan? Handsome McHandsomeface and Anthony Mackie, who is also Handsome McHandsomeface, but I know his name, are in Synchronic together, and it's directed by my boys, and it's really good, and it's on Netflix as of the 16th, so it's available now. On the 30th, Pet Stars debuts, and Pet Stars is from my manager's production company, so I will be pimping that, even though I'm not usually a documentary or reality TV guy. I'm really proud of my manager for making a show, and it's on fucking Netflix. How cool is that? Oh, we're back. Maybe? Okay, I'm gonna wrap this up while we're all still here. We got a stream from Ian Roth. I choose both of you should too. Dare made me do it. You know, the Dare campaign was probably the biggest failure in the war on drugs since the war on drugs. I really respect the Dare joke. The Dare dogs always being found out to be drug addicts that did a lot of drugs was always one of my favorite ironies. Before Alanis Morissette changed what irony meant, the Dare dogs doing drugs is a beautiful irony. So I appreciate a good Dare reference. Scott Welsh ordered Vision from my local comic shop before WandaVision aired, and I got it this weekend. Really enjoy what I read so far. Had to stop myself because I don't want to read it all too quickly. Scott Welsh, that is such a good book. That is an incredible run. I think Vision is probably my favorite of Tom King's work, and as you know, I'm a giant Tom King fan. Tom King's Batman got me back into being like everything DC, and then Batman's just what they're printing the most of, but Tom King's Batman got me reading everything again because I'm such a big Tom King fan. But there's something about Vision that's so haunting and so atmospheric and so Americana while being so modern, and it's like, do androids dream of electric sheep meets the 50s, meets comic books, and none of them feel like they sacrificed their flavor for it. So I'm so glad you're digging it. I too had to slow down reading it because it is quite the run. And I'm so glad you got it right after WandaVision. Like, how perfect is that? You got to watch WandaVision and then be like, oh, this is that flavor. I'm fascinated by the feeling of reading it after watching WandaVision. That must have been quite the thing. So, dude, I'm so glad you're enjoying it, Scott. And yeah, don't read it too quickly. Absorb, experience. It's a good fucking time. And it's so haunting. That book stays with you for quite some time. All right, I think that is everybody, and I think we are not frozen, which is very, very good news. Joel, thank you very much. Ian, thank you very much. We are back, Munchkin. We are back, Travis. We are back, Scott, and I'm so glad. I literally saw your comment as it froze, and I was trying to get that to load as well. Such chaos today, guys, with the internet. We'll see how the summer goes, because it's my phone overheating, and I want to wait to get the iPhone 13. I have the iPhone 10. I think that's going to be a long 4 months, but hopefully we're back in studios soon. I don't know what might happen. We'll see what goes. I want to thank Ian Roth. I want to thank Vanko. I want to thank Scott Welsh. I want to thank Joel Rolston. I want to thank Hold My Brick. I want to thank the great Rose Kirby, who you can find at Lizzie Hamilton. Her page will feature the potato scale in a new format, which I am very excited to check out. I want to thank Lewis Cox, and I want to thank my mom for being in here, as well as Annabelle Roman, who jumped in before the show even started, and Travis at the Ryan Cross Project for all of Streamlabs Super Chat goodness. I appreciate the fuck out of you guys. That's how I eat, and I appreciate eating because I'm trying to lose weight, which means you got to eat more, but it's got to be good food and meal prepping. It's a whole fucking thing. It's a process. So thank you all very, very much, and I'm gonna get out of here before it freezes again. Send me that on Discord, Rose/Lizzie Hamilton, if that is your real name, and everyone else, you mean the world to me. I appreciate you. Koi Pond is one of the most incredible corners of the internet. You all fucking rock. Stay safe. Stay sane. This Thursday, we're doing a Batman Forever watch-along. Thursday. 6-ish. PST. 9-ish. EST. Batman Forever, the one with Val Kilmer. We're going to watch the whole fucking thing together. Full audio commentary / weird time with beer and Batman Forever and Val Kilmer. Tune in Thursday, if that's your cup of tea. It's for patron Michael McCarcel, who is a goddamn champion. I'm very excited. He couldn't make it today. We could both make it Thursday. I wanted to move to Thursday. So Thursday, Batman Forever. I hope you all can make it. It's going to be a real good time. I see people yelling in the chat. It's very funny. It's lots going on. Just chaos. Look for potato scale and look for a thumbnail with Thanos on it. Ryan Cross, giving the information. Travis at Ryan Cross, giving the information. All right. Matching drinks for Batman Forever. Something green. Riddle me this. Tweet me a Batman Forever drink, and we'll try to see if we could all coordinate some sort of Batman Forever drink. But it's going to be very fun. All right. Thursday, Batman Forever, 6-ish PST. I will see you lovelies then. Have a great week, or have a great 2 days until then. And yeah, y'all are great. Bye, guys. How many times did I say great at the end there? That's the question. As I wrap this out, was there enough greats? Take a shot for every great. Okay, we're done.